got your message by the way. I'm calling it sick today, so let's go around for old time's sake. I'll never forget you. They said we never make it last. Sweet joy, always empty stage. I wouldn't change anything so glad you
so slowly, time goes by, so slowly. Hold me, love me, hold me. One moment, please. Okay, so I'll reintroduce myself. I'm Laura, Nathan's fiance. Hannah's brother's fiance, to clarify. So I met Hannah for the first time when she came to visit Nathan for a night of great fun at Georgetown during our junior year, which was almost 6 years ago now. Hard to believe, but naturally, we went to see Tron 3, the greatest movie ever, because it was a wild night.
Tron Legacy?
So, Hannah's most vivid memory of that night, for some reason, is Nathan holding my hand. I guess she found that alarming. But my most vivid memory of that night is actually how incredible Hannah was, and how much I had anticipated meeting this person and how much I wanted to impress her, and then how incredibly comfortable I felt with her. It was weird. It was like I had met her already, and for some reason it really assured me of my relationship with Nathan in a strange way. So I always admired how close Hannah and Nathan were, and I still do. And I remember hoping that I could spend more time with them, and here we are now. So that worked out. the fact that I was the ultimate cause of Hannah meeting Erik feels like a testament to our friendship, and I think it is, actually. So to tell you this cinematic story, a tale of two lovers, two passionate, wild people meeting in the heat of the New York scene on the dance floor. That's actually not really how it happened. But it was something like that. I took Hannah to an Italian restaurant, I think it was, where they compensated for accidentally overlooking our reservation by seating us at the bar. And moments later, they sent over a whole bottle of Prosecco for free, which was great. Hannah and I had actually already ingratiated ourselves with the bartender, so needless to say, we were very intoxicated that night. And I dragged her to a club that she would never, ever be caught dead in had she not been this inebriated. So thank you, Inoteca. Now closed. It was in the East Village, which was a great place. Anyway, luckily, I think Erik's friends had the same idea that night. So we went there, we met some of my friends, then some new people, and somewhere along the way, Erik. But you'll have to follow up with Erik for the rest of the story because Hannah and I can't be relied on for true facts. Anyway, moving on to things I love about Hannah, and perhaps some things Erik also loves about Hannah. So Hannah is extremely conscientious. Anyone who knows Hannah knows this. And she's annoyingly polite. But really, it's actually kind of annoying sometimes. Hannah, please cut your thank yous down to 50 per day for all of us, thank you. Hannah's also incredibly loving, but she loves Luna way too much, and that's also really annoying. Hannah loves to do cross stitch. It's her new thing, which is great for all of us because we get free artwork, and Nathan and I love artwork. But Osmond crosses, Hannah's not very familiar with. For those of you who don't know, Hannah's Jewish. And that's actually why Hannah won't be officially taking the name Osmonds, but Osmonds, don't be offended, it's about Donnie, not you. Hannah's also a wonderful musician and an inspiring teacher, so you can understand she has the opportunity to make a name for her people, and she should. And get working on that music. Anyway, back to the serious part. I really admire Hannah greatly, not only for being an all-around wonderful person who brings light and laughter into my life, but also for the objectively good things that she does for the world, bringing music and expression into children's lives, helping people achieve their academic goals, caring for the environment, and constantly offering her time and attention to friends and family, like no one else. It is sincerely heartening to know that Erik sees all of this and more, and makes my best friend and sister feel appreciated for these qualities on a daily basis. She deserves it, and Erik, you deserve her. While I may have focused here on Hannah almost entirely, this sentiment is for the two of you. Erik, you are kind, ethical, intelligent, adventurous, and everything else that Hannah sought out and deserves. I feel fortunate to have you as a brother. I love you both, and I wish you all the joy that life has to offer. You've seized the best of it already. Love.
So, a toast to the groom, to the bride, to the revolution. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. Anyway, for those who don't know me, I'm Hannah's friend from college. My name is Alexander Lerner. That's Alexander, and we are meant to be here celebrating the union of Hannah and Erik. And Peggy. Now, I've known Hannah and Erik since basically the first night they met, a little later than Laura, and I'm very happy to report that they have not yet broken up. Thank you. No, I'll say more. Urban Dictionary defines love as nature's way of tricking people into reproducing. And I don't think that's going to be fruitful. Urban Urban Dictionary defines poop dollar as a dollar. Yeah, well, that one's not right either. So, I'll say this. Hannah has never really been the type to try and grab the spotlight. She and I have talked a lot in the past few weeks about weddings and tradition and Teen Mom 2, and I think for both her and Erik, it makes them a little uncomfortable to be just showered with so much attention this weekend. And honestly, that to me speaks a lot about what I really like about them, that they're thoughtful about all of these subjects, and they're really genuine and humble dumb. And I think whatever discomfort they feel, it just comes from the fact that, you know, at a big event like this with all these people, everything has to be a little bit choreographed. So, you know, things can seem over the top and stuff like that, and sometimes it can feel a little phony. And in some ways it is. I mean, for example, I have to go over to the Epstein house before and just smile at them and not spit in their faces and say, oh, I like you guys so much, but, you know, that's okay. Anyway, well, we get through it. The Bitterbaum Epstein house. No, but seriously, even though it's sometimes hard to believe, even in all the, you know, the exaggerations and all of that, I think the really amazing truth is that everybody here does have these very positive, very strong feelings about you too. And it's really genuine. We all love you. We all anticipate with pleasing expectation your future together. And we're excited to be a part of it. And that's the reason why we all came to drink your free alcohol. So, I do want to close on a personal note. A poop dollar is a dollar. No, that's not it. I do want to say sincerely, I am very grateful to have the opportunity to speak to everyone tonight. It's rare that, you know, you get a chance to celebrate the people you love and really talk honestly to them. So, I'm gonna seize the moment and stay in it. And who wants to do that? So, I will say this, Hannah, I don't think I say it enough, but you really have changed my life in a very positive way. So without going into too much of the details, I'll just sort of say that I've always been a very anxious person. It's made it hard for me in a number of arenas, and I have trouble trusting people and things like that. And it's really just through my friendship with you that I've learned that there are good people who can be relied on, and it's because you are so genuine, and because in every interaction, you are totally honest about what you want, and you are totally thoughtful about what other people want. And that to me, it's just really changed the way I see the world. So I know I'm mostly supposed to be telling you you're fat this weekend, so I'm sorry, but I will get back onto my duties as soon as possible. I guess what I'm really trying to say, Hannah, is that you are awesome. Wow. So with that, I'd like to invite everyone to rise up, hoist their glasses, being careful to not throw away their shots, and drink a toast to the happy couple. And Erik, congratulations. We all love you very much. Also, let it go.
I'll try to keep it as fast as possible, which is something that's very hard for me to do, is to keep speeches short. So I will try to do it for Erik because he asked me to. I am Erik's friend Lucas. We've known each other since the summer before 5th grade. Our 5th grade class, we went to France together. And since then, we've been on drumline together, we've been to Germany together, we've been friends since we were 10 years old. And one thing that I've always loved about Erik, and we never really get sentimental with each other as guys probably, or who knows what. Erik and Adam and I have been very good friends since starting drumline together in middle school. And I've maybe always kind of thought of Erik as the grown-up of the three of us. Maybe it's his quiet demeanor or his being smarter than us, but he's always been someone who's kind of taken care of other people. And that's obviously something that I see in Hannah, and as per the other speeches, she's very caring and very doting.
and the two of them fit together very well with each other by doing that. The other thing that I really like about Erik is he's, I think, two words, I don't know which one applies better, so I'll say them both. He's very dedicated and devoted. And I remember when we all became drummers, Erik went straight in and saved all of his money and bought a very, very nice drum set and proceeded to become one of the best drummers that I know, whereas I just kept going to class and, you know, hanging out with my friends. And I think dedication is something that is great about Erik, and I know that he has that for Hannah, and I know that she has that for him, and I think they are great together, and I love you both. So congratulations, and let's raise our glasses or drinks to the happy couple.
Hello, everyone. That was loud. I am Andrew, Erik's cousin.
That's good.
Oh, thank you. Obviously, I'm older than Erik, so I've known him since the day he was born. And we weren't always the best of friends as we are now. When we were young, Ashley, his sister, and I would pick on him, and he would cry, and we would get in trouble. Which is sort of the natural order of things, I think. But as we got older, I realized that Erik was one of my favorite people in the entire world. And we lived together for a little while when he moved to Milwaukee. And it was a very special time for me. And we got to know each other even better. And then all of a sudden, Erik living the single life for a very long time, an extremely long time.
Uncomfortably long.
Uncomfortably long time. Sort of out of the blue for me. He's like, I've met this person. And when I first met Hannah, it was Christmas. Which is kind of ironic, but whatever. And it was amazing because it was like instantly knowing someone and instantly being comfortable with someone and knowing, wow, this person is going to be in my life for a really long time, if not forever. And instantly feeling like this is family. And that's a really special feeling. When Erik makes a decision, he really sticks to it. He knows what he's doing. He's a calculated person. That's a little bit of an understatement. But I very much love him for that and many other reasons. Erik is one of the most special people in my life. And Hannah, you are too. I'm just really happy that you guys have found each other and that you guys will be a part of my life and a part of each other's lives forever. That's incredible. I'm sorry I'm not very clever or funny, but whatever. I love you so much and I'm very happy for you.
Osmonds and Epstein's in the house. Let me hear it, everybody! So good, so good. Thank you very much. So the whole thing I want to talk to everybody about today is everybody but the two of you. You're going to get plenty of adulation. You're going to get plenty of attention. You're going to have everything, your moment in the sun, your moment in the spotlight, today, tomorrow, and throughout your life together. But right now, I want to just shine a spotlight on the audience and look at how wonderful and beautiful everybody is. Everybody, please wave at me. Just give me, let me see. Oh my goodness.
We know them. We know them.
I know, and I think my whole point is that they are them because of us, and they're freaking awesome. So not to bury the lead too much, but I want to zoom back in time just a little bit, give a little bit of a personal story. Maestro,
I love you, man. You were very instrumental in my childhood. I became very good friends with Erik early on. Missy, Maestro, you welcomed me into your home. You taught me a bunch of wonderful things about culture and music and love and support. Even when Erik didn't want your support, you still shoved it down his throat. And I love that about you, and I think that he's the man he is today because of you and your persistence. So thank you very much for being that. And thank you very much for being that to me as well. There were a bunch of things that I learned in the Osmond household. And I think, so Missy, this is my favorite part of like growing up in the Osmond household, is I would come in and Missy would make a beeline for me and she'd go, okay, so who's your girlfriend and what's going on at school? And is Erik seeing anybody? Does he like anybody? And like Erik's a pretty calculated and pretty introverted person, so the answer was typically no, like no. And then she started asking me a lot, like, well, what's his type? You know, she's trying to get to know Erik. I think that she was like, I got some friends, they have some daughters, we can make this thing happen. So she would ask me a lot, what's his type growing up? What's his type? And you know what? I could never give her an answer. I never knew. But here's what I do know. I know what his influences are. I know what the people around him are. I know what all of you guys are. And I see literally all of the wonderful qualities of you, his support system, the people that built him in his childhood and growing up. I see that in Hannah. I mean, I see Maestro in you. I see the vivacious, sexy Missy Osmond in you. I see a lot of Erik in you. I see a lot of thoughtfulness, a lot of compassion, a lot of, living your values, truly living your values. And I think I finally know what his type is. And his type is you, and I'm so proud. Erik, you got her, It's amazing. Missy, we did it, baby, we did it! So with that, Erik, I love you. I'm going to love you forever. Hannah, I love you too, and I'm going to love you forever.
Love you.
And so everybody, one more hand for you guys for making them what they are today.
have a great time. Keep the good times going.
This is truly incredible. I'm really overwhelmed. I'm verklempt. Just been told to say. So it's funny. It feels funny for me to be talking to all of you right now because I know there are so many of you out there who know exactly what I'm feeling right now. I've been at a lot of your weddings. I've seen the excitement while you were getting married. I've seen your smiley faces, and now I get to be the smiley face, and I have Hannah to thank for that. For this whole beautiful event, I would really like to extend my deepest gratitude to Stephen Otto Rose for hosting such a wonderful party. And for the past few weeks or months, people have, many of you have been asking me, how's the wedding planning going? And my answer may have been a bit boring, but it was totally true. It was just, everything's going great. Everything's perfect. And it's because we've been surrounded by so much love and support from everybody in this room that we really had nowhere to go but up. And speaking of up, if you would raise your glasses with me, I'd like to make a toast to my favorite person in the world, my beautiful bride, Hannah.
Hear, hear! Unspeakably wonderful event. So Missy and I don't want to embarrass you, but we're competing for how many times we've already cried. So I'm a physician, I'm only a psychiatrist of course, so I don't know if you can run out of tears, but I've been crying the whole time for the last 4 days, and it's not a good thing. So yeah, it's very, but I'm gonna try to speak. So as some of you know, sort of welcome to Washington. This is an election year, as some people may have heard, and I want to just kind of channel one of the candidates, and I don't want to be political, and I don't want to worry anybody, but I'm going to channel the other candidate. It takes a whole community of family and friends and people to raise a child. And for Erik and Hannah, you have people in this room who are your grandparents and parents and aunts and uncles and cousins and friends from childhood, and all of you have helped to raise these wonderful children to help them become who they are. And then Hannah and Erik became adults, and they've taken all of the best from us, from all of their family and friends. And then their new friends from high school and college, and all of you who are here who have helped them to become the wonderful people that they are. And then what distinguishes both Hannah and Erik, I think, is that they take what was given to them, which is a lot. We're all very, very fortunate. And then both of them do what not so many people do, which is every day you both try to be better people. And that is just incredibly admirable. Hannah and Erik are so dedicated. They're compassionate and respectful people. They are compassionate about their friends. They're compassionate about family. They're respectful of those who are less fortunate than they are. We know they're respectful of the environment. They're respectful of animals. This is a vegetarian meal in case anyone hasn't noticed that yet. So thank you so much. As a vegetarian, thank you so much. So, and you really are tremendously ethical, compassionate, and respectful people. And what's happened before you met each other is that you dedicated that respect and that compassion to all of us here and so many others that you affect. And what's going to make your marriage so wonderful is love, and love is wonderful, and love is great, but also you respect each other. You listen to each other, you have love and compassion for each other, you respect each other. You're both incredible people. I wish you the best. You don't need my wishes because you're going to be so happy and successful. And I love you both, and I love all of you here in our new family. And to toast to Hannah and Erik, you're the best people. Thank you so much.
Life is a great adventure, and I embrace that adventure with Hannah. You actually said that earlier today. I want to welcome you all here, all your friends and family, but today I'm just going to talk about Hannah and toast Hannah. I am an incredibly lucky mother. I have a wonderful and loving daughter, but most importantly, I have a marvelous best friend in Hannah. We've had so many great adventures together, and I'm going to talk just about a few of them. Hannah was a delightful baby. She always had a smile on her face and was curious and playful. I can remember many walks we took when we lived in Cambridge, Massachusetts with her, and I would walk down Huron Avenue into Harvard Square in Cambridge, and everybody would come up to me and say, "Boy, she's such a smiley little girl. How cute is that?" And I was so proud of her. And she had this marvelous way of babbling all the time and moving her hands, and she was so curious in the world. And I remember my father would come and say, "I think she's going to be a conductor when she grows up." Because to my father, that was the ultimate. And I always think about how proud he would be today to find out that she had become a musician and a teacher. Hannah had a great imagination when she was little, and she always embraced her brother Nathan from the moment he was born. She has always been supportive of him, and he has been supportive of her. They are great pals, and that has been so important for Steve and me, sorry, she always told me that. We played wonderful games together, and this is true. It's Hannah and Nathan, Little Lost Puppy, Doctor, Ballet, and Beauty Parlor. Everyone knows what a great fan of movies I am, and whether or not I indoctrinated my children to love movies, Hannah and Nathan share that love. It started with Disney, and I can remember countless days of Hannah pretending to be Ariel, the Little Mermaid, or Belle in Beauty and the Beast. In fact, there were several months we went through when Hannah made us call her Belle, and she only wore purple. She loved Playmobil, Barbie, and she had a morbid fear of dolls and E.T. I'm not sure she can watch E.T. even to this day. Okay. Our shared love of movies has continued to this day and includes wonderful classics like The Godfather, Titanic, we just heard the music from Titanic, Moonstruck, Star Wars, and the worst if we call good bad movies, including movies like 27 Dresses, Another Stakeout, and Love Actually, which I can literally watch 100 times a year, and Hannah indulges me 90% of the time. We share a love of Jane Austen, the Olympics, the Newport Folk Festival, rock and roll, live concerts. Her first was Hanson. Fashion, couture, New York, Hugh Grant, Colin Firth, Conor Oberst, the beach, novels, food, cooking, comedy, the Emmys, the Tonys, the BAFTAs, the SAGs, and of course, the Academy Awards. From the earliest of ages, our family would fill out our ballots for the night of, and inevitably, I never rigged it, I promise, Hannah, Nathan, or Steve would win. Hannah had always had a wonderful sense of justice and empathy for others. When I taught Hebrew school, Hannah helped me, and I always marveled that instead of wanting to work with the brightest students, she always asked to help those who were struggling a little. She volunteered her time at NIH and went on to work in a lab there for 2 years before in high school. Her sense of justice and fairness was reinforced even further at Swarthmore College and her years of teaching in Brooklyn. Hannah loves music, and so many of you here today, her friends, have come from that world of music. She played in many bands, and I was always so proud to go see her perform. But I was never so proud when she showed me a little video that I think Cleo took of her holiday concert at Brooklyn Dreams Charter School, where she instilled this love of music and singing to the kids. You could see their pure enjoyment and total joy in singing, and that just made me so happy and proud of her. She has had many, many great musical mentors like Mrs. Gregg, Sarah Winston, and Drew, but I have no doubt that she will go on to be a mentor for many, many students. As a little girl, Hannah wore rows and rows of Band-Aids on her legs with boo-boos. She went to the nurse's office at Westbrook almost every day in first grade with a stomach ache. Her piano teacher told me, and Hannah said, that she was her therapist at age 6. And she often has frequent cries in her, and is just purely overwhelmed with joy and happiness. Her sweet and sensitive and very emotional side continues to this day. I think she had a cry in her yesterday, but it's all gone. Hannah is witty and clever. She's also wise and compassionate. When she was young, I would ask her and Nathan to write me stories for my birthday and for Hanukkah. Hannah's stories were always often adventures about trips to New York, to art museums. She knew I loved that. And always featured a strong female protagonist. I went back and reread a lot of those stories. She has grown up to be that strong female protagonist. In the early years, I gave her advice and helped her navigate life in the modern world. As Hannah has grown, she has given me great advice about friends, work, life, and taught me so much about the contemporary world. She has shared her friends with Steve and I, and each of you who is Hannah's friend today, we consider our friends because Hannah shared you with us. Hannah has had two main loves, passionate loves in her life. Erik, of course, and Luna. I too love that perky little dog and her devotion and loyalty. I always knew that Erik had made the ultimate commitment to Hannah, as Luna had done when one day Hannah called me on the phone and said, Erik had agreed to drive the Hebrew school carpool. It seems like a small thing to many of you, but it is a big commitment, and I know that means true love. My closing wishes to both you and to Hannah and Erik are the words of a poet that I love. May God bless and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars and climb on every rung. And may you stay forever young.
First of all, I don't really think there's much more to say. I mean, it's been so well articulated by Steve and Ada Rose and others during the course of this week. I was going to start off with Spinoza. Wrote a book on ethics called Ethics, and then he had a huge section on emotion, about 90 of them. So, number one. No, but anyway, I just wanted to articulate. And I was told not to do that. Thank you, yeah. But anyway, we are in this room filled with one emotion that's terribly important, and that's joy. I've never witnessed so much joy in any group of people about the wedding of these two wonderful people, at least Hannah. And I'm always supposed to say something nice about Erik, and Missy probably will. But, no, they're just, the next emotion was going to be pride, but I know that's taboo. You don't talk about pride anymore. So I've translated that into gratitude. And I'm so grateful to Ada Rose and Steve for raising this beautiful human being and sharing not only her, but all the rest of you who are part of their clan, if you will, to be with us, not just tonight, but as we move forward in this, adventure of life. Speaking of adventures, the next one is gratitude for the wonderful people that they've become, for the values that have been instilled, for their kindness, their generosity, their thirst for knowledge and for adventure. It's true, we overdid it a little bit with our first child regarding adventure. But anyway, they have become the wonderful people that they are. And then there's another wonderful emotion called love, which is also in this room to an amazing level. And I think we just hope for them to be able to start off and end every day with the idea that they are so fortunate to love each other and the wonderful things that will come from that commitment and from that joy. So, to Erik and Hannah, l'chaim.
Told me, no, Mom, you really don't need to speak. You shouldn't say anything. And I said, okay, I'll just leave it up to Dad. I'll just stand up here and say hi to everybody. But out of Rose, oh my gosh, I was like, uh-oh, I didn't prepare anything. But so I'll just give you a teeny tiny little part of, you know, my experience, my life experience with my son. And when I found out, after having a daughter who was crazy amazing, that I was going to have a son, I thought, uh-oh, I don't know what to do with a boy. I have no idea what to do with a boy. I'm a girl person. And so I had this little guy, and he was just the most amazing person. And even at a very young age, I was like, Erik, why are you so smart? You're doing dominoes and you're adding them and you're like 2. And then he'd get in the back of the car and I'd be driving him around and he'd be asking me these questions and I'm like, who thinks about these things? I have no idea what you're talking about. And after a while I just went, Erik, can you please just ask me a question I can answer? Because I just don't know. And so this young man just grew up to be the most wise person that I know. We had wonderful times together growing up. We had a boat together. We rode out to the lake 15 miles and back, and I would take him skiing and tubing, and that was illegal because I was the only person in the boat, and there was no spotter, and I could kill my kid. Anyway, we just had some wonderful times, and when he was little, I used to be a runner, and he would ride his bike, and he would be my trainer. And we'd run faster, Mom, it's up a hill, you've got to go. And he was just great. We had some wonderful times together. But I don't know how we did it between the two of us, but we raised this amazing man who found this amazing woman. And the first time that I was really out with Hannah, we went to Governor's Island, and we were chatting, and Stephen and Erik were walking far, in front of us, as usual. Guys do that all the time, I don't know, whatever. So anyway, they were gonna get on the ferry to go back to New York, and Hannah was like, no, wait, that's my family. That's my family in front of us. And I went, I love this girl. She's gonna be my family. She's family already. I fell in love with her the very first day that I met her. And so I love you both, and I just wish you all the best. I think that's pretty good for him. He also, I do have to say this because this is really funny. He got really, at about 4 years old, he said, Mom, I don't want to get spanked anymore. And I said, well, how am I going to get you to obey? And he said, just ask me nicely. And for the rest of his life, I'm saying, Erik, I'm asking you nicely. Goes, okay, Mom.
But anyway, here we are. And I just want to say to everyone that spoke last night, thanks so much for putting the bar here. So we'll see what I can do. Anyway, well, my little baby, tiny little brother, not so little anymore, all grown up and married to the love of your life. It's been a very rewarding journey being your sister, Erik. And I will just say, Hannah, thanks for ruining it for me with Nathan, because I know that it can be hard to believe for those of you that have known Erik and I since Erik was born. Let's just say his worldly entrance was not as welcomed by me as a normal older sibling would with their little new partner in crime. We have almost 4 years between us, and as you may know or have noticed, I have a thing for the spotlight. I like the center of attention. And when Erik came along, he just threw me off the stage. I was no longer the center of attention. So at the beginning, I really blamed him for that fact. But I had to come to realize that it wasn't him, it was my behavior was simply unacceptable. There is one particular video of Erik stacking plastic cups with a little bib on, singing "Jesus Loves Me," when suddenly you hear my squeaky little voice demanding I get some video time, and my dad pans over, and there I am wearing only a diaper at the age of like 6, dancing around, sticking my tongue out, probably saying a terrible word. And I'm pretty sure that those are the only memories Erik really has of our early childhood. But I, on the other hand, Erik, have to confess that I grew to love you, like, a lot. I loved the nights you would crawl in bed with me when you were scared of thunderstorms, or when you would let me dress you like a little girl in little girl clothes and do your hair. When you would rest your your head on my shoulder when we watched a movie, or later when I had the privilege of shaving your mohawk that you totally rocked like a rock star. Those are just to name a few. I remember from a very young age looking at you and wondering what you would be like when you were my age, 6, 10, 16, 21. You were a little mystery to me. Always sweet, smiling, calm, wise beyond your years. I was so secretly excited for you to become my friend, as I knew you would be one day. I was also sort of waiting for you to go through your crazy stage and watch you get in trouble the way I did, but that never happened. I guess I might have taught you something, like what not to do, and this is where I was gonna go in about him saying, like, just ask me nicely. And I tried to do that, I'd be like, just ask me nicely, Mom, and she was like, oh, that's not gonna happen with you. But it did work with him forever. So anyway, back to where I was going. So sure, you had fun and made mistakes, but you always remained cool, calm, collected, and confident. Confident in the person you were, and confident in the person you wanted to become. And I admired that about you from a very young age. And then you moved to New York City, and my wish came true. We did become friends. This is hard. Getting to know you as an adult is truly one of the things I cherish most. And now here we are, your wedding day, wed to your best friend, your partner in crime, the love of your life. Hannah, you are everything and more I and my family could have ever imagined for Erik. You're the yin to his yang. We are so grateful that Erik has found literally the perfect person for him and for our family. As much as I always wondered what Erik would be like when he was older, I wondered what kind of woman he would find to be his wife and my sister. And man, he would have blown away all of our hopes and dreams more than anything we could have imagined to take place. And as a little side note, Erik, when he was younger, like early 20s, would be like, I'm done with this dating thing, I don't want to do it anymore, this is stupid, it's a waste of time and I hate it, and so some girl's gonna have to ask me out. He literally said that, so I'm so glad you got drunk one night and asked him out. And I just want to finish by saying I can't wait to grow our families together, to take family vacations, be an aunt to your babies, and just be there for each other through all the good and the tough things life is going to throw at us. We are so excited to welcome you to our family, Hannah, and so thrilled to be connected to your wonderful family. And don't worry, when things get weird with the Osmond clan, like they always do, and they always will, at least you now have Guillaume to be like, what did we do? So please, everybody, raise your glass. I forgot mine. Cheers to Erik and Hannah. May each year bring you more love, more laughs, and more happiness than the last. I love you both very much.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nathan. I'm Hannah's brother, and I'm also the best man at this occasion. It's the wedding toast of a slashy, if there ever was one. So I'm going to do a little Hannah, a little bit of Erik. First, I want to come out strong and tell everybody that the beauty parlor school rumors are true. I did participate in a little ritual called pirate polish when I was a child. So Erik, we were right there together getting messed up as children. First off, I just want to talk a little bit about Hannah. The rumors are true. Everybody said it. Hannah is my best friend. We grew up together. It was really us against the world. Anybody who knows our parents know that really was sort of a battle for a little while. Here at her wedding, getting a Kylo Ren Pez dispenser as the emo little brother really was sort of an appropriate thing. Hannah really raised me, and she was the perfect role model if there ever was one. She tried harder at swimming than me, she tried harder at saxophone than me, she was better at everything and smarter across the board. She was also super cool. Between the Whitman techno dance parties, wherever you are in Nudge, and the pizza extravaganzas late at night at Swarthmore after who knows what, Hannah was the perfect blend of amazing and cool, and I couldn't be happier about having her as an older sister. And then leads us to Erik. Erik, you obviously had big shoes to fill as somebody who was going to date my sister and sweep her off her feet like you did. I think his first real test was when we all went to Bethany Beach as a family. Anybody who's ever been to Bethany Beach, it's sort of like Woodmont, but on the water. It's a very high-intensity, yuppie vacation situation. There's a lot of sunscreen. There's a lot of being mad that photos are taken. Some receipts from the 80s are still available just in case something may have gone wrong along the way. So knocking a vacation like that out of the park really does a lot. I don't think the Epsteins will ever put as much sunscreen on as Erik did the first time he went. I think yoga on the beach was a first. There was a lot of running beforehand, but we got a little bit of stretching in with the cardio. Erik was also a total natural about not getting sand from the beach into the house, which became obvious later on in life why he would be talented at that. But seriously, it was a very stressful time, and as soon as you brave the Bethany Beach vacation with the Bitterbaum Epsteins, I know you've had it made. You are the perfect complement to my sister. The same thing goes for you that goes for her. You're brilliant, you're fun. We actually had a great time on Governor's Island as well. It's like a family recurring theme. I'm growing to realize. But I couldn't be happier to have a cooler, more fun, more intellectual brother, the first one I'll ever have. So everybody please raise a glass to Hannah and Erik, my family forever.